What's up, bros? Today we're cracking this 1718 OPC Hockey Retail Blaster box by Upper Deck. 10 packs should be inside, and each pack will have 8 cards. And so specifically we have a chance to pull one of these playing cards, and the specific feature of this blaster is that these two cards actually of Nathan MacKinnon and Carey Price are these actual cards, the so-called box topper cards. You might see the perforation here, so the idea is that you take your scissors and cut them out of the box, and these cards you can only find in those retail blasters. And if you remember the times when Nathan MacKinnon was as expensive player to collect as Connor McDavid now, then just like this video. The base card design actually looks very modern this year. I'm a little bit surprised because usually OPC has this a little bit of retro style design, but this year it actually reminds some of Panini scorecards designs with the white border and simplistic border on the left. I'm actually not a fan of white border because it makes the cards look cheap. But the back of the card is still the same old material. Not sure what is the name, but they used to make the rolls you put your toilet paper on out of this material, and no information, just plain stats. Actually a lot of space for some funny information, but it just has this barely visible Canucks logo here. Yes, so theoretically you can pull all kind of inserts. And this is our first rookie, JT Compher from Colorado. What are his stats? Yeah, 21 game, 5 points. Not like super promising for a left wing. All kind of cards from this retail blaster, except numbered cards, which you can only pull from hobby boxes, and then the patch logos. So shouldn't be a bad product in that sense. And actually I think this is our first foil parallel. This looks actually better than last year because you can actually see the foil. Last year you couldn't see foil very clearly in this card, so better. And this is the first retro parallel of Adam Lowry, just base parallel. The retro design is always is the same from year to year. It's just a closer photo of a base with some LGBT colors on the back. Photography is not bad, but it's not nearly as good as in Series 1. It's, I would say, a little bit like too close. Connor McDavid! And I think this league leaders insert, yeah, like the cards which are numbered from 500 to 600, that is Rockies and league leaders slightly short printed. Like, and by short printed, they're not rare, but they come something like 1 in 2 packs or something like that. Actually, that's strange because Marcus Johansson was traded to Devils, but it's still not updated. He's still with the Caps. That was actually an early summer trade, and I'm surprised they didn't update it. I understand they didn't have time to update it for MVP, but for here there was like for OPC there's much more time to update it. So, and Riley Smith retro parallel And I think Mikhail Grigorenko, he's signed with CSKA Moscow. It's also an early summer, not trade, but contract signature. So that's a little bit puzzling that they didn't have time to update it, because the design is super simple, so it wouldn't, in my opinion, take a lot of time to update it. And actually, here comes the first mini card. So this remind, in terms of the shape, this tobacco cards of early hockey card collecting era, and the back design is even simpler. So some of these mini cards are short printed, but I think numbers from 50 or 51 and up are short printed. M2 is just a regular, and there should also be foil parallels of these cards, and marker Rocky of Ivan Barbashov. And Nikolai Kolomin, probably one of the most expensive fourth line players in the NHL. Brian Elliott, Ryan Miller, P.A. Parenteau, actually used to play in Islanders and Devils last season as well, and Joe Pavelski. And that's a playing card. I actually show that it's actually a nice idea. Like, if you can put the whole deck together, you can actually really play with these cards. So it's something like it was introduced last year. So here comes actually the team checklist. I'm not sure what is the logic behind these cards. They carry very little information, so in my opinion, it's just artificially increasing the number of the cards in the big in the main set. And actually, Kincaid. Actually, I've been to the first ever NHL game of Kate Kincaid. He actually managed to save a runaway from Steve Stamkos. Joe Coburn, retro parallel. It was I think a Devil still lost to Tampa Bay, something like 4-2 or so. But that was the highlight of the game. And Sebastian Aho from Tampere. Joel Eriksson Ek, retro. Matt Duchene, whose career is steadily declining. Dmitry Orlov. And another mini. That's actually might be short printed mini M65 of Alex Ovechkin, who just got married this summer. Some like crazy photos from his wedding, but that's actually not a bad pull. So because it's a short printed mini, so, and a rookie card of Denis Guryanov. Justin Falk. Yeah, the Rockies are not very good in this product because they carry over Rockies, and actually don't think that there are any good carryover Rockies. And Nick Shore of Los Angeles Kings. So I got this blaster from Models at 78th Street in Amsterdam. The price is $19.99 plus tax. So it's around $20. It's a little bit steep, the upper deck blaster pricing, because in Panini blasters you usually have a decent chance on a hit if you buy $20. A blaster here, there are no hits in the whole product. So this kind of leaves out of this base collectors and parallel collectors. But I don't know. I'm not super excited about this product, and collectors are generally not super excited about this product as well. And yeah, that's a retro checklist. Like, the checklist is useless. Team checklist is useless on itself. The team checklist is even more useless. So I'm not very excited because of this modern looks, and of course I'm not getting anything close to $20 back, but I think so. This Alex Ovechkin short print and mini is probably my best hit.